I'ma chase success with global.media.com and celebrate it with the.
Yes, all right. We are live and direct. Thank you so much, everyone. Happy Friday, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are joining us from all over the world. Welcome again to another edition of our Positivity live stream. And for us, and for me personally, Friday evening like this, for those of us in West Africa, if you're in the US, it's currently 2 p.m. right now. In the Eastern time zone, in the Pacific time zone, it's like 11 a.m. And for me, it's a time I'm looking forward to where we just come together as a community, as a family, with a sole aim to spread positivity, to encourage more people, to support more people, to inspire more people with our stories, with our message of positivity, so that through our story, people can find faith, can find hope to keep living their life. If you're just joining us, can you drop in a comment? Tell us where you are tuning in from. Because one thing we do here on this space is we take our time to shout out our MVP. You might be asking, what are the MVPs? The MVP is you. You are our MVP. You are the one that makes the event what it is. For the fact that you show up here with us to listen, to support, to comment, to share, to repost, you are the MVP. So do not hold back. Drop in a comment. Tell us where you are joining us from so that we can be able to shout you out. And our event is an event that is open for all. So it's not just an event where we just talk and talk and talk and talk and just listen. Oh no, it's not. We believe in active participation because we know that your story is important. We know that your testament is important. And what you have to share has the power to inspire others. So we always give people the privilege to join us on stage and be part of the conversation, to share their thoughts and their insights about the conversation each week. So if you are there, please feel free. That's the link in there. Yes, let me align the link now. That's the link. You want to come up on stage? Yes, include the link on your browser and to take you on the backstage. I'll be so excited to bring you on. Now, we have been on a series. Yes, we've been on a series. 2 weeks ago, we spoke about how do we support men, which was a very powerful, section, reaching out to more men, to inspire more men out there. And last week, Friday, we spoke about how do we support men. Another empowering conversation. We spoke about a lot of things, how we can appreciate women more, how we can support them, it's a teamwork as a family. For us to say, you know what, with those powerful conversations, there is need for us to come to a consensus, to generalize it and say, you know what, everybody makes this. And that's why we're talking about this today, what makes people feel emotionally safe. Now, this goes all around. It goes both ways. A male or you're a female, everybody needs emotional safety. And this safety is very important. Why? Because it does not matter who you are or where you're from or what you've attained in life. As human, it's natural to feel safe, to feel heard, to feel important, and to feel valued. Yes, it's very important. So it's not a function of, oh, it's not a function of having all the finances or being a celebrity or being anybody who you are. We all need this. We need it in our life. Emotional safety. And when we talk about positivity, we're not just stopping at motivation. We're not just stopping at words. One thing we always do in our conversation is we give people practical steps. We discuss practical steps on what to do, actionable steps that you can take to help you to be able to embrace each topic and each conversation that we do. So we're not just coming to just to inspire you, to motivate you. No, it's all about practical steps of what makes people emotionally safe. In other words, what can we do as a community, as individuals in our own right, to be able to make people emotionally safe around? And the question is back to you. When people are around you, are they emotionally safe? Just take a few minutes and ponder on that. Just ask yourself the question: when people are around you, are they emotionally safe? Have somebody told you whenever I'm with you, I'm always safe? Or is the other way around? Because sometimes these are the things we do unintentionally. It might not be something we wanted to do, but at the end of the day, sometimes when people are around some certain persons, they don't feel safe around them. It might not be about what they say, which can actually be sometimes. It might not be about, oh, how they reply. Sometimes the silence in some persons, or the way you look at people, or the way you measure people by, looking at them from head to their toe, speaks a whole lot. There are some non-verbal cues that actually make people unsafe around certain persons. And that's why we're talking about this conversation today. What really make people feel emotional safety. Emotional safety is very important. For some persons, you have financial safety. For some persons, you have physical safety. For some persons, you have spiritual safety. Having all these other safety can never be substituted for emotional safety. It cannot. So no matter the amount of money you think you have in your bank account, emotional safety is still valid. For some persons, they have security guard, they have CCTV cameras all over. Of course, physical safety is important, but you might be in that place where physically you are secure, but emotionally you are not safe. That's why you see many persons. Oh, I thought that person was a rich guy. I thought he was a billionaire. Why did he commit suicide? Why did he take his own life? Of course, emotional safety does not have physical boundaries. It's not a matter of physical location or what protects you physically. It's a matter of what goes on within you. And that's how we say, you know what? A lot of people are going through this right now, this moment out there, where they are not feeling emotional sick. But what can we do to help people like that? What can we as a community do? What are the action steps that we can take to make sure that everyone around us feels safe emotionally? So that's where the topic is coming in today, and I believe it's going to be an empowering conversation. Obia, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Yes, happy Friday to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Guys, keep dropping the comments so that we can be able to highlight your comment and shout you out. We can let the world know that you are here with us. When I saw Mr. Ellie, it was funny that we never planned it, but our color of shirt is looking alike. And then our background is also looking alike as well. Like, okay. That's where we are a team, even though we didn't plan it, but then we are all looking the same, wearing the green, flying the green and the purple background. And I believe that with that, with that, it's going to be another powerful conversation. But for those who don't know me, my name is Zion Nogero. As you can rightly see on your screen, your Mr. Positive Energy. For me, I'm a man on a mission to spread positivity to every corners of the earth, 1 million person at a time, using the power of social media. We live in a time and in a season where people go through so much. You might be here right now and your life you might be going through so much right now, a difficult time, a challenging season. Of course, we all go through that. We have all had our own share of life. But life does not end there. Having somebody to be able to coach you, to teach you, to hold you accountable, to intentionally embrace positivity, not just as a thought or as a motivation, but as a lifestyle that propels you to success, a lifestyle that propels you to greatness, a lifestyle that propels you to achieve that which you are destined to achieve. So I coach and I mentor people on positivity, and also I help entrepreneurs, coaches, authors, host online events just like this. So you have a message, you want to reach out to more people, you have something you want to share to impact people, we can help you host online event like this so that you can be able to reach out to a larger audience all over the world. Now the goal is to reach all over the world. So it's not just just no. It's reaching out to more people because the more people you reach out to, the more impact you will do. So that's all about me. I'm going to pass the mic to Mr. Eddie. so that he can be able to share with us what he does and how he helps people. So, Mr. Eni, the mic is yours.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's my world is working fine today, so all good, all good. So great to be here. Obia, of course, we see you. Anyone else who's here, do drop us a comment so we can see you, but we can't see it's you. Can't see your name. So do say hi, then we can welcome you the way you deserve, which is properly. Look, my life is damn good. I love my life. I just stand there these days and just stand and go, wow, life is wonderful. Yeah, and then I sort of smile at myself. I think, okay, let's carry on enjoying it. What makes life so wonderful? It is doing what I dreamt of doing. It's bringing my dreams to reality. And my dream, my goal, my aim, my mission, call it what you like. What keeps me awake and what wakes me up in the morning is simply to get my friends who have brilliant solutions, solutions they've created themselves, or solutions that they've adapted from what's out there already. They created something that's going to help humanity. So when you do that, I want to work with you, as Mr. Z said, to give you more visibility, to help you build more authority, so people can actually trust you. And then I want to help you to sell more in terms of getting your idea out there. Whilst, of course, I work with many different people, my joy comes from helping people to write their book, publish their book, and launch their book and sell more books. Of course, we have an expertise in guaranteeing to make anyone who's got a decent book on Amazon the #1 bestseller. So if we can help you, then please let's talk. I said I think I got 2 books that are coming out right now. Another one is already done, but they'll probably come out in the next month or so. Every day I get to work on people's books is the greatest joy in my life. Of course, Mrs. Z and I do these events. As I said, my thing here is a realization that we all have special gifts. We have a gift from God, from the greater powers, whichever greater power is, that you believe in. We have special talents and we have to get it out to the world. And sadly, in most cases, it's our thinking, our mindset that lets us down. That's what I see every day in my life. And also, look, Mrs. Z and I are human, right? We know what it's like to live with anxiety. We know what it's like to live with fear. We know what it's like to live with, and doubting yourself. Right? So, everything that we talk about in this event, it's lessons that we've learned, lessons that we're applying, and we're seeing the difference. So that's the reason why I love this event that we'll do every Friday. I guess last I'll say is we do a lot of we'll do workshops to help people to find their true gifts and find themselves, right? So moving people from where we are today to where you want to be. That's what Mr. Z and I live for. And if you connect with us, you'll find out we'll do many different things to make that happen. But thank you so much, everyone. If I can help you, get in touch. I see one of our superstar sisters. It's not a sister. She's bigger than me, Mr. Z, right? So what can I say? I don't want to call her our big auntie because she thinks I'm trying to make her look old, right? But our genius friend, Dr. Roxana is here, so that gives us more joy. How you doing, Prof?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly, but you're on camera. I can see your picture from when you were 25.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's what I want to be.
Just yesterday, right?
Oh yes. How are you, Mr. Positivity? How are you, Annie?
Prof, we are doing well. So good to have you. Happy Friday, and how are you?
Oh yeah, happy Friday. I'm glad to join you for some few minutes and chat with
Yes.
you.
Yes,
Awesome.
you can go ahead, Prof. It's
Oh
a
yeah.
privilege to have you. So let's give you the opportunity to just share with us on the conversation today as we talk about what makes people feel safe emotionally. So you can just go ahead, kick us off on a great note.
Okay, what actually creates emotional safety? I'm going to ask some questions. Is it our words? Is that what we say? Uh, is it our actions? Is it our willingness to listen? Do we listen to others? Sometimes when you want to talk to somebody or some people, before you finish what you're saying, they've already started another conversation or started talking about themselves. So, what makes people not listen to us? Is it our willingness to listen, or is it something deeper? So, what do we do? I know I do that also. So together we will discuss. I mean, let's just talk about it. Many people are not looking for solutions first. Okay, they are looking to be understood. So some people, when they tell you their story, they want to be understood. They want you to listen from their perspective. How can we become better? How can we solve this problem? How can we network? Okay, so that is what people really want when they're talking to you. What happens when people feel criticized, compared with, or evaluated behind you? How can we create an environment where people feel accepted while still encouraging growth? So I'm saying that. Even common nodding your head helps a lot. Even a smile, you don't have to say a lot. So I just want to say that working together, I know that we worked together a lot some years ago when we had LinkedIn Rooms, the one that Annie started. And that's where I learned I can write a book. From there, we wrote the the anthology. So that's the kind of relationship that makes you grow and you really want to connect or reconnect. Always going back to connect. Whenever I have some time, I want to go back and connect with the group, just like we are planning to reconnect. Okay, let me stop. Let me stop here. So positivity helps a lot. I don't know if I have it all, but I want to develop myself and try to be more positive than I am. Nobody has everything. I just, I just want to make sure that I'm learning from you, but I'll keep learning every day.
Always reach out. And like I always say, it's a journey that we all have to go through. And embracing positivity is something that it's not just a one person journey, it's a team sport whereby we succeed together, in the journey of positivity. So if you need more and extra positivity, I'm always ready, I'm always available to chat so that we can always go on this together. Even the Bible says iron sharpening iron. No matter
Oh,
how
yeah.
positive you think you are, you also need another positive person to support you, to sharpen you, to push
Yeah.
you, to encourage you, to pull you and say, you know what, today I'm not letting you stay in this mood. Let's go, let's smile together, let's dance together. So it's very important. Thank you so much, bro. And you also shared a great point about emotional safety. And when you're talking to some person, instead of them listening to you, they're already listening to start another conversation, which we are most of the times we are all guilty of. But the ability for us to intentionally pay attention to others whenever they are talking, not because they need a solution, like you said. Sometimes people just want to be listened to. They just want to pour out their heart so that somebody is there to listen to them. It's not because, oh, I want you to solve my problem. It's not because I need a solution from you, but because when I know that you are there listening to me, it actually make me feel safe to be vulnerable, to express myself, and to share my thoughts. So thank you so much, Prof. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know what, let me tell you, I don't know why my picture is there. I am supposed to be seen, but I'm not being seen. So forgive me for that.
Maybe okay, maybe you can remove the background. I think the background is covering the person, so
Eh,
that's the reason
eh, yeah, I don't know. But anyway,
why. But
maybe.
we can hear you loud and clear. That we learn every day when it comes to tech and all these things. We learn every day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It doesn't happen like this in other, but this time it happened in Restream. So anyway, but I want, one thing I said, and I want to say again, people want to
Yes,
listen without fixing anything. Sometimes we
yes,
want to talk to you just because they want somebody to listen to them, not
yes.
really you coming in to fix the problem. They just
Mhm.
want a listening ear. That's one of the things I was trying to say.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Any want to jump in? You're muted. I think Mr. Any wanted to jump in, but he's muted.
Okay.
Prof, no, great share. So I'm sure we're going to come back to your points. Is it words? Is it actions? Is it listening? I think all those things, of course, they all count, right? I mean, I probably take it back a bit and say, probably, I probably say it's down to what's in your heart, right? What's in your soul is what ultimately turns into your words. What dictates your words. What dictates your actions. What dictates your behavior, right? But I'm sure Mr. Z and I are going to come back to that all the points you made long before we finish, right?
Okay.
Let me welcome the legend, Linda. How you doing, Linda? Great to see you. Yeah, Restream, very good. Thanks, Restream. So Linda, all the way in Canada. Sharon Rose, I haven't seen you for a while as well, my friend. How are you? Glad you're here. I don't know how are you these days. I tend to ask what's exciting in your life. That's what I tend to ask these days, right? But welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to have you all here. Of course, you're welcome to join the stage. If you want to join the stage that Dr. Roxana has, you're welcome to join. If you want us to send you the link, just put it in the chat. Link, please, and we'll send it to you. We'll post it in your DM. Otherwise, the link is on the event page in the comment section. So do join us if you want to share, your insights, your experiences, your genius on this topic. Mrs. Z, I'll give the mic back to you, my friend. Please share with
Yes,
us. Educate us on the big scale. Educate us properly. What are we missing? Is what I always ask my friends, right?
yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Any, and thank you once again, Dr. Rosanna, and everybody who has joined us. Please feel free, keep dropping a comment. And like Mr. Any said, if you want to be part of the conversation, don't be shy. Maybe you're in a place where you cannot put on your camera. As long as we can hear your voice, we are good with that because we know that your voice matters. Now, what makes people feel emotionally safe? For me, like I said, emotional safety is very, very important. And there's one thing I've learned and I'm learning again and again. It's, emotional safety does not happen just by one conversation. It does not happen through one conversation. Most of the time, people just feel because I talk to you once, that's all there is to emotional safety. But if there's something I've learned is that consistency and genuine care over time can give people the emotional safety they need whenever they are with you. Consistency and genuine care over time. So emotional safety is not magic. It's not like a light switch, you just boom and boom, and people just feel emotionally safe around you like it's automatic. It's not automatic. Most of the time, it takes consistency and repetition in showing up for people. Take for example, you are kind to me today. You are kind to me tomorrow. You are kind to me 3 days time, 1 week time, one more time. Because I see the level of consistency and the genuineness of your heart, it allows me to be emotionally safe. You know, it is built through consistent kindness, consistent honesty, and consistent reliability. That you have been reliable over a period of time, you have been kind over a period of time, you have been showing love over a period of time. It 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 just makes me or make other people feel emotional safe, especially in a difficult season. For most people, you just believe, oh, because I talk to you at maybe in one conversation, then boom, automatically people are emotionally safe. It doesn't happen like that. There has to be consistency. If you say you care, care doesn't just happen once in 3 years or once in 5 years. If you truly care, there is need for you to consistently show that you care. If you say you are there for me, there is need for you to consistently show that you are there for me. If you say that you are reliable, there is need for you to consistently show that you are reliable. Now, in other words, consistency in being trustworthy, consistency in being kind over time builds that trust, build that environment where people can know that, oh, I trust Annie. Why? Because Annie has a track record. I trust Professor Rosanna. I trust Zion because they have a track record of being kind, of being positive, of being honest, of being reliable over periods of time. So by doing that, it allows people to feel emotionally safe around you. So remember, I said, yes, it's good to be kind, it's good to be loving, but how consistent are you? Do you have a track record, or is just a one-time thing you do? Maybe a one-time kind and boom, that's all there is. Of course, people might like it, but one way that people can feel emotionally safe around you is the ability for them to see that, oh, this person said they care for me, and I've seen it over a period of time. They truly show that they care. And because they truly show that they care, then I can trust them with my emotion. I can trust them with my feeling. I can be vulnerable to them. Why? Because this one is trustworthy. Not just trustworthy because of a one act, but trustworthy because this person can be consistent. They show up when they say they want to show up. They do what they say they want to do. They say they love. They actually exhibit and show that lifestyle of love. And sometimes, people can only feel safe around you when they see how you treat other people. Yes. I might not talk to you, but when I see the way you treat the next person, that alone can either encourage me or discourage me to be emotionally safe around. We live in a world where a lot of people are doing eye services, in the sense that it's only to certain kind of persons that they are nice to. It's only to certain kind of persons that they show love, they show kindness. Why to other set of persons they tend to discriminate, they tend to judge them, they tend to, push them aside. I might not get close to you, but seeing how you treat other people can actually tell if I will be emotionally safe around you or not. That's why it's important that we treat everybody alright, because everyone deserves to be loved. Everyone deserves to be kind. Everyone deserves to be supported. If you say you are a person who exhibits love, you live a life of love, or you are kind, make sure you are consistent with your kindness to everybody. You shouldn't be limited to certain set of people, maybe because, oh, I'm going to gain something from this person, so let me be kind to them. Whereas the person I don't think I'm going to gain anything from, I'm not kind to them. That's like a double standard life. So as a person, you want other people to be emotionally safe around you. Then you do not have to live a double-minded life. If you are kind, be kind to all. If you are loving, be loving to all. If you have empathy, be empathetic to all. Because it is very, very important. People might not have conversation with you directly, but indirectly with the conversation you're having with other people, they can tell and they know if they can feel safe around you. For me, I've not had the opportunity to have conversation with a lot of persons, but I've also had the opportunity to have conversation with a lot of persons. You will see that, oh, the people, I know you. I've heard about you from XYZ. I've heard you speak. I'm like, whoa, I never knew you knew me. They might not have direct conversation with me, but because they've seen or they hear from other people how this person is, they can actually feel emotionally safe around you. My third point, when it comes to how to make people emotionally feel safe, Dr. Professor Rosanna touched about this earlier, is the ability to listen without judgment. I remember growing up as a child, there's this particular teacher, she will always ask you to say the truth. And she's asking you to say the truth because she's going to flog you at the end of the day. So she say, tell me the truth. Don't worry, tell me the truth. Now, because you okay, she has convinced you to say the truth. When you say the truth, she's going to flog you for saying the truth. That yes, I know you're the one that did it. I know you're the one that did it. To flog you. At a point in time, no matter how she convinced me to say the truth, I will say the truth because I know that when I admit to the thing that she's asking me for, I'm going to get flogged again and again. So, not judging, listen to people without judgment. It's very, very important. A lot of people they jump into conclusion even before the story is finished. They jump into conclusion even before you finish sharing. They're already pointing fingers. They're already, oh, it was your fault. Oh, you do this. It's not about that. So not just being there to listen. You don't have to criticize. You don't have to mock. Even you don't even have to correct immediately, as the case may be. For some persons, they might think they are responding, but they're actually criticizing. They're actually mocking you. They're actually laughing at you. So when you do that, people cannot feel safe around you emotionally. If you are listening to people, please actually do well to listen. Don't listen to conclude and say, I'm like you're already at fault. Oh, you already messed up. No. Listen because you want to listen. People cannot feel safe around you when all you do is criticize them. You're always talking about the wrong that you've done. You've never praised them to say you've done. Especially most of the time, parent does this as well. When your child do something, that's where you're always hammering on the child. You're always doing this. You're always doing this. But whenever they do the right thing, we don't hammer on them and shower the praises on them like that. So when you are constantly criticizing people, you are constantly amplifying their faults. You are constantly looking for the loopholes, the mistakes, the shortcomings in their life. People can never feel safe around you. Therefore, some person like, oh, I'm so blunt. Oh, I'm so yes. We know that you are blunt, but sometimes understanding the context, understanding the mood, the atmosphere, or the timing, it's also very, very important. We don't say that you should not be blunt. We don't say that you shouldn't express yourself, but the ability for you to give people room to express themselves without judging them is very, very important. Another point I will share with us when it comes to being safe emotionally is acceptance. Acceptance is key. Accepting people for who they are. It's not a function of their skin color. It's not a function of their background. It's not a function of their financial or social status. It's a function of them being a person. As a person, there is need for you to accept people and respect people for who they are. A lot of people make this mistake. When you see certain race, that there's this part of you that just triggers you, it doesn't go well with you. People cannot feel safe around you when you are judging certain people, probably based on class or based on material things or based on what they've achieved. No. Accept people and respecting people is key. For some person, it comes in a place where there is a differences in preference. I'm not agreeing with your opinion. Maybe I'm not agreeing with your suggestion. Then people begin to judge, point fingers, say things. It's not supposed to be like that. Yes, we might not agree at certain topic, at certain conversation. The ability for you to accept that and respect my choice is very, very important. For some persons, when you don't agree with them, it's a turn off for them. It becomes a red flag. Allow people to be themselves. Allow people to be who they are. If they want to disagree, give them room to disagree. If they want to say no, give them room to say no. Your thoughts, your conclusion is not all there is. That's why people differ. My opinion might not be your opinion. My suggestion might not be your suggestion. What I like might not be what you like. For those of us who like sports, I'm sure Mr. Ede will resonate with you. For some persons, they like Messi. While some other persons, they like Ronaldo. So for the fact you like Ronaldo and I love Messi, or I love Ronaldo and I love Messi, fine and good. I accept the fact that this is the person you love. I accept and I respect it. I don't have to start pointing finger at you or pointing you as you are bad. You don't know what you are saying. You don't know what you are doing, or you don't have your own opinion of your own. So it is very, very important. People can disagree with you. People might not go along with what you said, but love them and respect them. It's very, very important. I will end with this. For me, I've been on both sides of this. One way that people can feel emotionally safe around you is confidentiality. Can people confide in you? Can people trust you with their issues? Can people trust you with their challenges? Can people trust you with that secret? Can people trust you with how tough life is for them? A lot of people confidence being confident with information, a lot of people lack this. Oh, people begin to talk to others because of who XYZ. No, there is need for us to be confidential with information. When people tell you about what they are going through, it is not your duty to spread the news and say, have you heard? This is what XYZ is going through. Have you not heard? People are like that. People gossip a lot. People talk. People say things. And you say the words have ears. Of course, the words can only have ear when people begin to open their mouth. If nobody opens their mouth, the word does not have an ear to hear. It's when people open their mouth, the words begin to create ears to hear. So when people see that they can confide in you with their problems, with their challenges, with their secrets, they can feel emotionally safe around you. Don't be the one who spreads people's secrets just because maybe you want to gossip or you want to make a case study. You're making a case study with a secret that you're not allowed to share with people. I've seen people like that. After talking to them, the next class, it is your story that they're using to make analogy in the class. And it's like, how dare you? It happens like that. So there is need for us to be confidential with information as professionals, as parents, as partners, as friends, as colleagues. We take permission. If you cannot solve the problem, sorry, am I allowed or am I permitted to be able to share this with my friend who might be able to help you? Taking permission is key. So am I allowed to share this with my friend? I think my friend can be able to help me with it, but am I allowed to share this with my friend? Taking permission. Allow people permit you to share what they want you to share. Don't just go ahead and talking about people, what they've kept a secret with you. 10 persons are already aware about it. Knowing for the fact that they only share with just you. So being confidential with information is one way that people can actually feel safe. I can go on and on with this conversation because being able to experience this emotional safety and to be able to create that space where people can feel safe emotionally has really helped me so much to be able to impact more people. People can tend to trust you more, people tend to like you more, people tend to come back to you because they know that whenever they are around you, they feel that safety to be who they are. without any sense of judgment, without any sense of being looked down on, without any sense of being undervalued or devalued. That's how people should feel good around you. Emotional safety, like I said before, is not something that can happen in one conversation. Consistency and commitment to doing what you do over time can create that environment, can create that space where people actually feel safe around. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening. I'll use the mic now to Mr. N so he can be able to kick us off on that.
Yeah, my friend. I'm wondering what I'm gonna what you and Professor Roxana haven't said between the two of you. That's what happens when you speak last, right? Let me welcome some people first. So Christiana, I can. Liana says you're here, so I will take it as you are here. Linda says, take note of those who can't celebrate your small wins with you without feeling uncomfortable, competitive, or jealous. It's amazing. That's a great point, Linda. Amazing point. Again, Obia, I see another amazing comment from you. So you must be lovable, kind, and trustworthy before anyone can feel safe with you. I think at peace with yourself, right? Though some people are selective with it, indeed. So in all, let people be emotionally safe with you. Don't talk down to people or on people. Correct with love. Listen actively without judgment. I'm sure there's more. So listen actively without judgment and always give good advice. And I love that as well, of course. That's and I say, who needs me here, right? You've covered all the good points, my friend. Stacy, I see you as well. So yes, Zion, listen to understand. Welcome to you, Stacy. Thanks for joining us. Have I missed anyone? I've mentioned Leanna in passing, but welcome, superstar. Always great to have you in our rooms. And I love your kindness to our friends as well. So I'm glad you're here. So Roxana, I'll let you come back on yours.
Oh, yeah.
On the comments
Thank you. Thank you for letting me speak, Annie and Zion. Well, what I think is in positivity, it doesn't, we're not supposed to be pretending that problems do not exist. That's not what we are doing. Positivity is choosing hope when circumstances are difficult, choosing to be hopeful. It is believing that growth is possible. We can actually see grow together. Even if someone offended you, it's possible to be healed. Healing is possible because we're not just going to be pretending that we're not in the world where nobody will offend each other. We will, but we will come together and after some time we get healed and we improve and the transformation will come on. So positivity, as far as I'm concerned, in an environment is inspiring confidence. Conversation builds trust. That's if we can start talking to each other, we can build trust. You never know what I actually know. It's only when I hear from any and Zion that I say, oh, okay, well, I can talk to these people. I think they will understand me. So you never know what I can say or what I can do. Maybe you understand me from somewhere because maybe of my looks, but my looks doesn't say everything about me. A positive environment inspires confidence. That's what I'm trying to say. Positive conversation builds trust. That's all. It builds a great mindset that creates opportunities. Then I learn from from that positive environment, from audio room. A lot of things have been created from there. We have already created a lot of books. Annie has actually been my, editor for some time now. Helped me create so many books, and then the anthology. But what if the first day I saw him, I never talked to him? what if, I mean, see, what I'm trying to say is that a positive conversation builds trust. It's from there that trust comes, and then opportunities are created. Networking. I can learn a lot. I'm still learning. Even as old as I am, I'm still learning. I haven't finished. I still learn from my grandbabies. Actually, those who are 5 years old, when they talk to you, you think, oh, so you know all this. So because in positivity there are possibilities, okay, and possibilities bring growth, it brings healing, it brings stronger relationships. So that is why we need to actually try to be positive anytime, every time, not
Yeah.
only on Fridays when Zion, not only on Fridays when Zion is here, not only on Fridays. So we can try to be positive anytime, all the time, because we can create greater success, impact people. There will be some transformations. There will be possibilities of doing some more things together. So thank you for letting me speak. But I know that I've learned a lot since 2 years or 3 years when we started working together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Roxana. You're the star. I mean that sincerely. Thank you. Now, let me welcome Lisa, say our menopause genius and our nutrition expert as well. So, how you doing, Lisa? Happy Friday. Good to see you. So, Christiana says, I hope it's Christiana. So
Yes,
all I can say is Lisa to you. So build trust and
yes,
confidence in yourself too first before we can trust others. Another very important point.
yeah.
Look, from my perspective, there's so many different ways I look at this issue of safety, building a feeling of safety for others to, for those around us. It's probably the way I'll describe it, right? I saw a comment yesterday. I think I saw a comment in a post, Dr. Amaka's post, and it basically said, don't spend time, don't stay in rooms where you're tolerated, right? Spend time with people who value who you are. So I think that is a good way to look at today's conversation. Again, if you think all of us, anyone who's been to school, Dr. Roxana mentioned in the comments, anyone who's worked with other people, anyone who's done anything, that involves anyone else, right? We can have this feeling of showing up and not knowing what's going to happen today, right? How are they going to react? What do you call it? Internal politics, workplace politics, but it happens everywhere that we spend our time, right? I think
Yeah.
I think that we don't need that in our lives. We don't need to be second guessing. We don't need to be worrying about what's going to happen. So when I showed up today for this show, I think when Dr. Roxana joined, I looked up and I thought, oh, look at that, the three of us. That's because that's what Roxana said, that we're all in the anthology that you see behind me. So from the day that we started working on that anthology, Dr. Roxana, Mr. Z, we're family. I talk about the co-authors as a family, right? And that means I expect when we show up, that we're gonna do what we have to do. We're gonna have fun. I'm not gonna sit here. I'm never gonna worry. What's Dr. Roxana gonna say today? How's she gonna react? I think those are the two main points I probably want to pick up on most about this topic, right? Again, whether it's a workplace, whether it's even in these events, you can show up in a room and not know what people are thinking. You see, emotional safety, from my perspective, comes down to truly being your best self and making everyone feel relaxed, valued, appreciated. Well, are we friends? Are we not friends? I think in most things in life, most relationships, whether it's a professional relationship, okay, we're gonna do work together, right? Personal relationship, okay, we live together, and maybe we got kids together. I'm saying, right, but what we don't need in either type of relationship is anxiety about what's that, what's that, what's that person really thinking? What are they gonna do? Maybe I'll come back to Cristiano's point. A lot of this is what we bring to the conversation, right? So I live with people, I work with people. And when I used to work in a big company, I hated all of it. I just hated every day because we know what happens. There's people talking behind your back. There's people who've got their own agendas. Some are trying to put you down. Some are trying to sabotage your work. Some are just people are just at you all the time, right? Let's be the people who don't do that to other people. Let's be the people who bring joy to all, as Mr. Z said. Let's make everyone feel truly at peace with themselves whenever they're with us. Be at peace. Because that we are going to be our best selves. We're going to be polite. We're going to be courteous. I think the big thing for me is, number one, be consistent, right? We need to be consistent. If I don't see you for 6 months, any of you here on stage and in the audience, right? If I don't see you for 6 months, the next time we meet, I promise you will never notice, because we're going to go straight back to how we are today. I like you, I adore you, I want to hear you've been up to, I'm excited for you. It's all of that, right? I think that's what a good friend would do now for a good friend. I think it's on us to be good friends. And part of being a good friend is just is being your true self. What we don't need, no one needs chameleons. You know what chameleons are, right? They change color depending on where they are, right? Well, no one needs anyone who's going to change a drop of a hat. They change it because we're in a different group with different people, so they're going to behave differently. No, that just causes anxiety and worry unnecessarily. I would just like you to be you. Whenever, anytime we meet, no matter what day, what time, where it is, just be you. That's all I ask, and that's all people around you ask as well. Don't be the happy one today, then tomorrow you become the angry one. Don't be that person. Don't be the courteous one today, then tomorrow you're a rude, aggressive, insulting person. Well, that's to me or to someone else. I'm saying we don't need people who are inconsistent in who they are. No one's going to feel safe with you if you are inconsistent in who you are. Bring your best self and be your best self. That's what we ask of you, right? The second thing I will say about this topic is our emotional responses, right? And I can pretty much guess how all of us here are going to react to something that happens. I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. But I think at best of times, Mr. Curtis, I see you. Welcome, my friend. Again, even I can't prescribe how you're going to react, but I can pretty much guess. None of us here is going to react with anger. None of us is going to explode at drop of a hat. Oh, you've annoyed me, so I'm going to blow up and I'm going to blow everything up. No, let's not do that. Learn to manage your emotions, control your emotions, right? Things are going to happen. Things are going to go wrong. Things are going to happen. When I leave my office and I go downstairs, things happen. My family can't be sitting there thinking, is it going to explode? It's going to start shouting, start breaking things. No one needs that. Don't be that person, right? They can't feel safe around you if you are unpredictable, is the word. Now, be predictable, be consistent. Be the nice person, be the helpful person. That's what emotional safety really looks like. Sometimes we need to give more help than we may think. That's not a problem. But I would say all of this comes back to a simple thing: what is in your heart? If you have love in your heart, everything I've just said is easy. You bring Your loving side to all relationships, all events, all occasions. That's easy. You know, but no, but if in your heart you are bad-minded, I'll let you what bad-minded means, right? If in your heart you have ulterior motives, it will show. It will. Dr. Rossano, you mentioned whether it's about words, whether it's about actions. If you're bad-minded, your mask will slip one day, right? And then then suddenly people will see you for who you are, and say, no, we need to develop love in our heart and live that love, for everyone that will come across, right? Learn, truly love people, value people. I want to make the world a better place, and we can. Let's do it. I'll leave it there, my friends. So of course, again, I'd love to have someone to come on stage and add to the conversation. So the link is on the event page in the comment section. Yolanda, my superstar author, how are you? How are you doing? So Yolanda's book is the second one off now. Dr. Noella's book's just gone off for final read through, and then Yolanda's book is going to be next on our publishing list. So this will be done in the next couple of weeks. Anyway, welcome, Miss Yolanda. Again, how we treat people is the same. Yolanda knows what it is like every day of the week. 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe 9:30 in the morning, I'm not so pleasant because I'm asleep, right? But otherwise, I'm any all day, every day. I think, Mrs. Z, your point about people being able to open up to you, and that's important too, right? If I got problems and I can't tell you because I don't know how you're going to react, are we really friends? Are we? No, of course not. We have to be able to trust each other and be able to, I can rely on your support. I can rely on your genuine kindness. I can rely on you being you. A lot of people are going to pretend in life, but they'll get found out at the end. And when things go wrong, it's normally because they haven't got those safe relationships. Mrs. Z, I give the mic to you, my friend.
Feel free, include it, and you can be able to join us. There's something that yourself and Professor Rosanna said that really struck me so much that I really want to piggyback on. It's about Professor Rosanna said, positivity is not pretense. Yes, no, it is not pretense. And you also mentioned about being who you are. A lot of people think that pretending to be positive means you're positive. It can never be. You can pretend to be, but if you're not a positive person, you're not a positive person. That's why he said is what is in your heart. If you're not a good person, no matter how you pretend to be a good person, you cannot pretend to be a good person. Being a good person is a choice. Being a bad person is also a choice. And that's why for people to feel safe around you, they have to see the genuineness, the sincerity, the authenticity of you being who you are as you claim to be. You don't claim to be a good person. People know that you are a good person based on what you do and what you say. So if you say you are a good person and you are the only person saying you are a good person, you are not really a good person. Of course, because if you are a good person, people will feel it, people can see it, people can tell that you are a good person. Because good is not in darkness, good is always in the light. If you are good, people can tell you are good. They will have 1 or 2 stories to share of you being a good person. They will have 1 or 2 experience with you to say, what, this person is a good person. So when you are a good person, you're the only person saying you are a good person, we have to check very well if you are really a good person. Because at the end of the day, when you are kind, kindness has a voice, goodness has a voice, empathy has a voice, love has a voice, and those voices are heard in the actions that follows. Those voices are heard in the impact that follows the kindness, the love, and the empathy. So for people to feel safe around you, it's not a caption that you carry around. It's a feeling that people can feel whenever they are with you. Now, you don't have to convince people So being for people to feel emotionally safe around you, you don't have to convince them. They just feel it whenever they are around you. So it's not about convincing people, trying to tell people that they can feel emotionally safe around you. You know, I've been to a coach and I was just we were having a conversation. In a conversation, what I felt was this person is trying to convince me to tell me that I can open up. You don't have to convince people by trying to cajole them, persuade them to say, no, open up to me. You don't have to. People can tell, people can feel it, people can see it. So emotional safety is like an atmosphere that goes with you based on who you are, a testament of who you have become, a testament of the life that you have lived, a testament of the fact that people can see that over time you have been this person you say you are. You know, being a positive person, like Professor Lazana said, you cannot pretend it. Imagine me pretending to be a positive person over the 4 or 5 years I've been on this journey. Of course, people could have told, oh, this Zion is not a positive person. I've seen him on several occasions doing X, Y, that is not positive. Of course, you can only pretend for a while. At the end of the day, the true you will definitely come out. The true nature, the inner you that you have been trying to have will definitely come out. People will definitely see that, oh, this person is not who they say they are. And that's why I spoke about earlier that consistency in being good matters a lot. When you are good, even though it's 20 years time to come, you will still be a good person. When you are a good person, even though, like Mr. Eni said, we don't talk for 6 months and we are talking again after 6 months, we are talking being who we are. No pretense, no judgment, no sense of inferiority, no sense of being devalued. I'm excited to talk to you after this long period of time. I was sharing with a friend, I like I was just having a conversation. There's a particular friend of mine that we don't usually talk every day. Sometimes in 3 months we don't have conversation. Sometimes in 4 months we don't have conversation. But when we tend to not have a conversation and meet, it looks as if we have all the time to share everything that happened in the last 3 months. In the last 6 months, we are excited to share about it. We are celebrating our milestones. We are happy for each other. Nobody is pointing finger and saying, "You did not call me, you did not text me." Oh, this, people are like that. But being able to be in that space where you don't feel any sense of judgment, any sense of condemnation. You don't have.
Yeah.
If you don't, if you don't have emotional safety,
Yeah.
okay, if you don't have emotional safety, there is no way you can give other people emotional safety. So emotional safety starts with you. Feeling safe emotionally, you want to make people feel safe emotionally, it starts with you. The question is, do I feel safe emotionally? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Because if you're not feeling safe emotionally, there is no way you can make other people feel safe. Why? Because imagine you who has that you cannot even listen to yourself. How can you listen to other persons? You cannot even love yourself. How can you love other people? You cannot even be kind to yourself. How can you be kind to people? So it's very important when we talk about how we can make people feel safe emotionally. It starts with you. So when you feel safe emotionally, it gives you the foundation, it gives you the authority, it gives you that confidence to be able to make other people feel safe. That's why we need to work on ourselves. You need to work on yourself. You need to make sure you are safe emotionally. Do you trust yourself? A lot of people want others to trust them, but they don't trust themselves. If you cannot trust yourself, how do you expect people to trust you? It doesn't work like that. So there's a frequency that you have to put yourself. If you are trusting yourself, you also give other people room to trust you. If you believe in yourself, you give other people room to believe in you. If you can confide in yourself, it gives other people room to confide in you. Why? Because it is who you are that people see. It is the fruits you produce as a person that people can see and that people can tell. And to be honest with you, some persons, if you are pretending, of course, people can know if you are pretending. People can tell. People can sense it. Like they say, the words have ears. The words also have noses. The word does not just have ears, it also has noses. You can smell. You can feel. You can tell that, oh, this person is actually pretending or this person is actually off. I don't feel right around this person. So we have to make sure that we work on ourselves. It's an inward, outward expression. It's an inward, outward feeling. It's an inward, outward action. So feel safe within you. It gives you that room to also make other people feel safe. There are a lot of people, they live in that space where they feel unsafe. And because they feel unsafe, they are suspecting everybody. Everybody becomes a suspect. It's more like there's a trigger for them. It's more like their pain point becomes a trigger for other person. So when people are doing things, it triggers them. Why? Because they don't even feel safe around themselves. And because they don't feel safe around themselves, you put them in a place where they are judging people, they are pointing fingers at people, they are making people feel like they are lying. You'll be asking the question, are you sure? Are you saying the truth? Are you sure you're telling me the truth? Of course, I'm telling you the truth. But
Can I just come in there?
they feel other things. So, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, but you just bro. That's okay. Go ahead. I'm saying,
Yes.
can I come in there?
Yes, yes, please, Prof. Go ahead, come in.
Yes, I have a few minutes to before I leave. But you know what? Emotional safety is not a weakness, though, because you can blame anybody if it's not a weakness. You cannot blame anybody if they come to a situation or an environment where they don't think they belong. You don't want them to feel safe.
Mm,
It is the foundation of healthy relationships where they feel they can say what they have to say without being judged.
mm,
Uh, so it's a place where you can contribute ideas, ask for help without anybody questioning you. Take a positive risk. I'm not a negative one. Take a risk, but a positive risk, and become their best selves. Becoming your best self. The truth is simple, though. People may forget what you said. People may forget what we did, but they rarely forget how you made them feel. And how you make people feel is not it's not what you said, though. Your attitude, the way you acted. You know what? There are some people who be hosting something, and when I see them, I don't just click the link and join like I just joined,
mm,
because whether I like it or not, I notice the body language. I don't know if I'm the one that caused it or they caused it, but when I notice the body language, the attitude, I don't just jump in like I do. And I know that people also do that. So it's not a
mm,
weakness, because most often actually sense you actually sense how somebody or how people feel about you before you can start asking questions, before you can start saying something already. So
yeah.
that's what I want to say. Any?
Yeah, thank you very much. And it's so true. It is something. Feeling safe is something that we can control as much as we can control what we do. Right? How others might take it might be different, and sometimes our intentions can get misinterpreted.
Yes.
You know, but I think it's through consistent, repeatable or repeated behaviors that people can see, okay, I am in a safe space here. I am valued. they do care what I think. And I think it's such a fine line, Professor, between when we feel safe and when we don't. It's such a fine, and I'm glad you mentioned the non-verbal, I guess non-verbal cues that we give out, right?
Oh
You know,
yeah.
you know, what you haven't got to say. I don't like it for someone to begin to question whether they can feel safe around you. I think our body leaks the information. The eye roll. They're talking again, right? That's something simple like that. The frown when someone starts talking. They're looking away. They've been distracted, looking at your phone. There's so many different things. There's so many different ways that people let us know unintentionally that we're not safe around them. And I think we do need to be very, very mindful.
Yeah, without saying a word, you can actually find out. Without
You really
saying
can.
a word, yeah,
You
you
really,
can
you
find out.
really, And again, I think it comes down to our true intentions. And as Mr. Curtis says, you have to love yourself before showing up for others. I agree with you, my friend. That's probably one of the biggest lessons I learned in life. For a
Yeah,
long time, I thought I could just carry on in life. I'll be happy if I try to be happy.
yeah,
That's
because
yeah,
yeah, a
please.
positive environment inspires confidence,
Mm,
inspires you to be confident. It inspires you to build trust, just build trust with them, say something or ask questions, ask for positive mindset creates opportunities. So, what if someone doesn't feel safe around maybe some people? You cannot um, blame them for not either contributing or saying something they need because
yeah,
they are not encouraged. They think he or she thinks that she's not understood. She's not
yeah.
empowered into that
Mm.
in that environment.
Yeah, again, I agree with you 100% on that one. Again, I think for me, just realizing that you can't show love to others if you really don't love yourself. That was
Exactly.
an eye opener for me, right? And I think once we realize that, you know, we don't just mean liking yourself. We always say love yourself.
Mhm.
Sometimes as you would do when you love something or someone, right? You
Yeah.
do what's right for that person.
Yes.
You do what I say. So if you truly love yourself, what are you doing for you? What are you doing to give yourself peace of mind? What are you doing to bring joy into your life every day? Now,
Mhm.
what are you doing in terms of your dreams? Those things that you really want to do, those things that you really want. If you love yourself, you will believe that you can have all those things because you can. Again, that's the end of positivity, Professor. In that, it's not just a thing. It changes lives when we take action.
Yeah.
If you don't love yourself, then you doubt yourself, and you fear what might go wrong. When you love yourself, you take those bold actions, those bold steps, and you see how your life changes. That's the beauty of positivity for me.
Oh yeah.
I think Mr. Curtis says, Mr. Curtis says many people are trying to show up for others, but have not shown up themselves. I agree 100%. You know, you see, I think a big part of creating safety for others, Mrs. Z said it earlier, is feeling safe ourselves, right? And part of feeling safe for ourselves, it really does come down to understanding our mission in life, our purpose. I think the day I found my purpose, I understood my purpose. Sean would say, recognize your purpose, right? The day I realized that my purpose was to bring joy to others. That's when my life really changed. Because from there, my mind was at peace. I don't wake up any day anxious anymore. That's why I said, as I said earlier, I can wait. Most days I wake up and I can just stand there and just amazed at the life I live. And that's it's not about money. It's just about the environment, the people, and the situation around you. And for me, once I realized I am not worthless, I'm not an angry little person, then I decided to start showing, love to others and giving others the space to be themselves. I think I love your points, like in Jeremiah, so Obia, where you say Restream, do what Restream does. Right. Come on then. Let's see it. Right. You have to know when to detach yourself from a toxic environment. In the name of being kind and having perseverance, you have to know when to walk away. Again, 100%. The reason many of us start our jobs, start our businesses, because of the toxic workplace. The people in our workplace who make us feel unsafe. And this happens every day, right? And I think being able to walk away, this relates back to the points that we were talking about, loving yourself. And I think part of the conversation today is that you have to love yourself enough to know that you have, the right people for you are out there, right? Whoever they
Yeah.
are, what is your target audience? The ideal clients, even just your ideal friends, right? People who have the same mission as you. I'm saying there's people out there who are for you,
Yeah,
and
let
you
me
have to
go ahead.
go, please.
Yeah, see, where you are allowed to be vulnerable, where you're allowed to be authentic. Well, suppose, see, sometimes you want to ask, why do people often hide their true feelings? Why? When people hide their true feelings, what helps someone feel comfortable enough to be authentic and honest? Why? I mean, it is the ability to understand another person's perspective and experiences. How does empathy contribute to emotional safety? Okay, so if I'm allowed to be vulnerable, or if I know that I can be authentic here, then I will be feeling free to say what I want to say. Make sure I come in without feeling that I'll be judged or sidetracked. Okay, so building trust through consistent actions, it doesn't happen once. Trust is not built through promises alone. It is through consistent integrity and reliability over time. So we ask ourselves, what makes you feel emotionally safe around another person? What really makes you feel emotionally? I mean, I already said that the body language, as far as I'm concerned, body language alone tells me whether I'm welcome in a situation or not. The way I'm welcomed, accepted. Another question I can ask is, have you ever experienced a conversation where you felt truly heard and understood? See, what made it different? What made that uh, situation different? You see, notice that they want you there, the attitude of people, the body language is you're welcomed. You know that. Your inner self tells you that. So I already said that emotional safety is not weakness. It is the foundation of healthy relationship. If I'm in a healthy relationship with you, I can just walk in when you have an event and make sure I will contribute. So when people feel safe, they are more willing to contribute ideas, ask for help, take positive risks, and become their best selves. So, so that is what I feel. People may forget what you said. They may forget what we did. But see, the way you make people feel, whether you like it or not, they will remember that, and maybe next time they can come again or not come again.
Yeah,
Welcome back, Zion.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I agree with you, Prof. It's how we make people feel. You know, I think sometimes we don't even realize that we're making people feel something, right? You know, again, there's two ends to this. The two ends to this conversation, you know, matter, right? And I say, no, it's easy to think making people feel small, make people feel unvalued, no, not valued in a space. You know, it's about treat. It's about almost treading on people. You know, when you're trying to push them down, ignore them, you know, silence them, right? You know, I think there's also the other side where, you know, because of your abilities, your achievements, you know, maybe you know your behavior in the past. Some people deliberately, they will try and pretend as if you are superhuman. You know, I think that makes us feel unsafe as well. You know, I think, and so no, so there's almost like there's a pressure for you to be perfect, to always get it right. That's not how life works.
Yeah.
My wife is doing strange stuff. So my windows are open and there's water coming through my window. I don't know why she's spraying the window, but I'll deal with that in good time, right? Right. You know, again, I say in a world where if my way was to make every now my household feel unsafe, I'll be shouting right now, "Who's doing that? Why are you doing that?" No, it's not that bad. It's a hot day. Water is not going to kill me, and it's stopped now anyway,
Yeah.
right? You know, I think, you know, let's be very, very mindful how we make others feel. You know, if anything, you know, think of networking. When I get networking, you know, I make it a habit of mine to pick out the person in a corner by themselves. You know, because you know when you go networking in real life, there's there's little groups of people, there's little circles, there's pairs, there's people talking amongst themselves, right? But there's always that person in the back of the room, the new person usually, who's just there because there's no one talking to them, and they don't know who to talk to, right? Now, I say, now make it your business to go and talk to that person. Now, show interest in what they do. Don't just go and talk. Now, show interest. You know, because when we go networking, we go there to be heard, to know what we do. If one person more knows what you do when you go to networking events, you've won, right? I'm saying be the person who reaches out to people in such situations. You know, in a group chat like this, and I say one thing I love about these events is the fact that our friends talk to each other. You know, they're talking in chat amongst themselves. I think that's a brilliant thing because then no one feels left out. You know, no one feels, oh no, there's no one cares I'm here. Now we care you're here, of course we do. But also, you know, our family or friends on LinkedIn also care you're here. You know, that you're here too. And I see you, Mr. J. I'll come to you in a second. Linda, I think you know your point. Oh, okay, Fatima. How do I pronounce your name? Fatima. Hopefully, you know, I didn't get it too wrong. Linda, look, I think having boundaries helps, and having healthy boundaries. You know, I will not spend time in spaces where I am tolerated. I will not spend time in places where I'm disrespected.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know, and you know where I feel where I don't feel safe, you know, I will make my request, my demand for the things I want. You know, of course, you want to be respected. You know, people to actually to care that you're there. Like I said, you know, actually care and actually value the fact you spending time with them. You know, and yes, of course, you know, I think that we all have red lines. Like I said, no, for me, networking is if no one talks to me at a networking event, I never go back. I never go back. I don't care how big the network. I don't care who the members are. I don't care how rich they are. I don't care if they're all authors or not. I just don't go back because no one cares about what I was doing, right? Same as online. If you could DM me. It's fine. Someone DM'd me the other day, yesterday, and oh, the amazing Mr. Osong. I'm like, that sounds good. You know, his name was Victor. So I remember all that, right? I'm like, you know, I said, what do you have in mind to what I said to him? I'm saying, you know, have your rules of what works for you. And don't be scared to tell people. I think the point that Linda's making is that when you tell people what you're read now, what helps you feel safe, that those who care, those who are the right people for you, will follow your rules. They won't walk over your red lines. Any says quite happily, if you want to call me at 3 in the morning, you feel free. I'll still be here. Don't call me at 9 in the morning though, because I'll be asleep. I'm saying that's just Ennis red lines. That's Ennis boundaries. What are yours? If you have your boundaries, Cyrus always says, boundaries. Well, literally, problems start when you don't share your expectations. If you keep your expectations to yourself, then you just plant the seeds for someone to walk over that, and then you'd be like, "Oh, I'm hurt now." I'm saying, make it very clear. This is what I'm willing to put up with. This is what I'm not willing to put up with. And if the people keep breaking your boundaries, leave that place. It's toxic relationship. That's what it is, Linda. And look, I'll stop talking and give the mic to Mrs. Z. Hopefully, we can still hear him. Because I truly think somewhere down the line in all of this, we have to value ourselves and believe that we're worth it. But that only comes from treating others as if they're worth it too, right?
Oh,
You know?
yeah. Yeah.
Well,
You see, respecting differences without creating division. So, if in a networking gathering, we know we are different, we're not all the same. If we can all respect, because I've been in that kind of situation, if you can all respect the differences within us without creating division, that would be good. How can we maintain meaningful relationship even when we can disagree, even when we disagree? Okay, what role does respect play? That's just what you said. I agree with what you said. If I can just tell them or say what my red line. What's my red line? And what's Annie's red line? I better not cross it. So we can have that networking without having any problem. And that's how, after a network, some people may not actually come back. The next time when you call them, they'll say, "Okay, I'm coming or bye," because somebody probably we are maybe creating division without knowing it. Sometimes you may be doing something without knowing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
day, I'm sure we do, Professor. I'm sure we do, right? Like I said,
yeah,
it takes a comment. It takes a look. It takes an action that suddenly makes someone feel odd, like feel not welcome in our space, right? And I say, I'm sure many of us know what those things are. If you're wondering what are those things that we do, we're all adults here, and we're all friends. So I know that you know what it means to be disrespectful to others. The simplest way I would say is, tackle everything with love in your heart. The right
yeah.
thing to do will come naturally. That's what I would say, right? Uncle Jay, I see you're a storytelling genius. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Friday. Have I missed someone? Hopefully I haven't missed anyone yet. Yolanda, I love your honesty, Yolanda. I told you Yolanda's book is coming next. Intertwined is coming, and we're about to start creating merchandise for our Kickstarter campaign for the book launch. Yolanda says, "I'm excited, anxious, yes, so rightly so, a tad bit nervous, yes, for all the things that to come together, or for all the things to come together in a positive manner. It definitely will. I think believe in yourself, believe in what we're doing, Yolanda. It's part of the conversation today, right? Is eager to know who will read, who will read, or to mention who will read the book. To mention a few, yeah. Look, I'm hoping all our friends here will buy your book, Yolanda. It's it's an interesting life story that Yolanda has, and that's when we talk about family and the things that go on in families that no one ever talks about. Yolanda's point is, let's talk about it. But onto the book, comes out, then You won't get a chance, my friends. But the book is coming, Yolanda. We'll have a plan, and we've done book launches before. We've done book publishing so many times. I'm saying, chill, it's fine. Just let's just do what we need to do, and our friends will get a chance to enjoy and learn from your amazing book. Yeah, that's the truth. You anxious? Yes. Just take it from me. Being anxious and being excited are the same thing, Yanda. Same feeling physiologically. So just tell yourself that you're excited. Forget the anxious bit, right? You know, we'll get anxious. If you don't get anxious, then you're not doing anything big. When we do something big, then we're allowed to get anxious and get excited at the same time, right? Rosemary, how are you? How positivity be? I recently had an experience with someone I truly admire and respect. When I figured that the feeling was not mutual, I withdrew immediately to protect my peace. 100%, Rosemary, 100%. Don't spend a minute longer in a space where you're not, where some people don't want you to be. Don't spend a minute amongst people who are insulting you in their heads and degrading you with the way they behave. If you're not valued, leave. If people don't respect you, don't like you, don't trust you, don't want to know who you are, leave. You got nothing to lose. What do you have to lose? Nothing. Because no one is liking you. No one is caring about you anyway. Go and find people who do care, because they're out there somewhere. They're out there. I said somewhere. They're out there on LinkedIn. They're out there on every platform. They're out there in our world. Now, Professor, there's one thing I want to discuss before we go. I think this thing about disagreeing with people. I don't think creating safe spaces means necessarily not disagreeing with people. I think we can create a safe space and still be able to disagree and almost have conflict, healthy conflict, constructive criticism. You're gonna call it that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, I have already, you see, creating a safe space. It depends on who you are dealing with. I
Mm,
believe that it is believing that growth is possible, even when there is a difference. You can still come together. We are adults. We're not children, so we're not just going to scatter because of a small problem. Healing is possible, even though that was maybe a fracas, like we call it, but healing is possible when we come together like adults and get over what is between us. Improvement is possible also, and we can actually get some kind of transformation and fix things, because when we create emotionally safe environment, we unlock a lot of possibilities within ourselves, within people that may have been hidden because of fear. They don't want to come out and say anything because of fear. They don't know what they are going to say if they come out, and because of doubt they don't want to come out. But if we can unlock these possibilities, and some people will have anxieties because they don't know the environment they are stepping in, or because of past experiences. They have had something in past experiences, so they have doubts, they have anxiety, they have fear. But we can overcome that. A positive environment will inspire even others, confidence in us. It will build trust, and the others will come together again, even when there was a difference before. So we create a positive mindset because we are going to live today, Friday, and still live tomorrow, Saturday. We are not going to stop after today. So, because in positivity, there is possibilities. We are going to grow. We will heal. We will get stronger relationship. We'll have greater success. So, transformation matters a lot, and there will be possibility that when we work together. So this is actually what I'm trying to say, and I think this is my my last. I need to. I'm getting into a meeting late, but I just want to say that positivity is not just on Fridays.
Yeah.
It's not just on Fridays when we gather together.
I
When
love
then
that.
Zion tells us, Mr.
Yeah.
Positivity tells us, okay, it's a
Mm,
positivity hour. So if we can
mm.
actually try to cultivate that, that would be excellent.
Yes, no,
Including me, I'm not exempting myself, including me. We can
it,
fix whatever is broken.
it's all of us, Dr. Roxana. It's all of us, right? So
Yeah.
I do want to highlight your book, your best-selling book, Unlocking Passive Income Strategies for
Yeah.
for 2026 and beyond, right? The
Mm-hmm.
2025 and beyond. Now, and the book is all about how you build income, create freedom, and live richer,
Oh,
right?
yeah. And
I've just done what any does, what you all know I do, which is if there's a book anywhere in front of me, I will happily sing and dance about the book, right? I love books, it's what I do. I'm a publisher, so it's what I do for a living, right? So, I'm not going to change now for anyone. I'm not going to change, just for the sake of changing, But it's an amazing book, Dr. Roxana. I know because I've read it, and you wrote it, so it's all good, right?
oh,
If you
yeah.
want, if you want to share the link in the comments, please do.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll find the link and then put it there. But it's one of Dr. Roxana's 9 books. 9.
Yeah.
Go and read the others, my friend. Look, I know our time is coming to an end.
Yes.
Christina, welcome. No, sorry, Rosemary. I'll come back to your comments in a second. So, Christina, welcome. I know we're talking on DM, but of course, we'll finish our conversation. So, but you say yes, people that don't value you, they take away from your energy. Don't let them. Don't. I've never lost anything by leaving a space where people are making me feel unwelcomed, and what do you lose? You might lose business. You're not going to get business anyway from those people, right? You might lose, happiness and joy. No, you're never going to get happiness and joy from those people. As Christina says, if you're in the wrong space, the wrong people, then they're going to sap your energy. They're going to sap your happiness. They're going to sap your joy and leave you feeling deflated and anxious and maybe even upset. Don't let them leave.
Exactly.
Just leave. Simple as that. So Rosemary, so I'm waiting for your comment to come up on my screen. Look, positivity, Rosemary, I agree. In positivity, there's possibility. That's what Mr. Z says. And that's the name of our positivity book. But that's the title of our positivity book, by the way, which we're working on as we speak. So, and as you said, Dr. Roxana, positivity is not for an hour a week. It's not. It's not even for a day a week. It's a way of living. It's a way of living with joy in your soul, peace in your mind. And wanting joy and peace for others as well. Now, together we can achieve more. Let's love and respect each other. Totally agree, Rosemary. Totally agree. And despite where we are at any point in our lives, if every day we can be trusted to bring happiness whenever we interact with people, we're gonna have more interactions. I assure you. If every day people can see that we're gonna bring care, we're gonna bring love and interest and attention to who they are. They want to spend time with us. Simple as that, right? Simple as that. Look, when it comes to disagreeing, a few things that I might point you to. So the way I look at it, the way I work out, do I speak or don't I speak? Because sometimes I will not speak, even if I think something may not be right. The reason I use those words is simply is this, right? Think how many times you've thought, I know this is wrong. I know what's right. And then you find out that you are not necessarily right. Dr. Roxana, you mentioned earlier how your grandkids teach you stuff, right?
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
I'll say probably my biggest coach today is my 17-year-old son. But I think you have to be willing to learn, willing to listen, willing to be impacted by other people, right? You have to be open to what I call radical openness. It's a concept. Radical openness to meeting people who can change your lives, to doing things with people that can change your lives, to truly transforming your life, based on the choices you make today, right? Now, radical openness, because when you do that, that's when you truly head in the direction that God's pointing you to. If you're closed-minded, nothing's going to change. Put it that way, right? So that's number one. Look, I don't think I'm always right, so I'm not always going to speak. You may ask questions if you disagree. I don't think we have a place to say I'm right, you're wrong, because that's rarely the case, right? And I think Paulette talks about asking yourself, why am I talking? Whenever we're speaking, why am I talking? Am I talking to add value? Am I talking to show how clever I am? Am I talking just to talk? Which many people do. I think when we ask ourselves, why am I talking? Suddenly we'll come back to, am I adding value? Am I saying something useful here? Or am I just giving a judgment? That's BS, right? Let's not talk BS. Again, I'm sure when I was growing up, I learned in a simple lesson: if you've got nothing good to say nothing.
Exactly. Be quiet. See,
Really.
we live. See, let me just say that. We live in a time when people can instantly share their thoughts online, especially now that we can go online anytime on our cell phone. Sometimes people you listen. What did I just listen to? How can I unsee how can I unsee or unhear what I just had? No, but many people struggle to find spaces where they feel truly accepted, respected and emotionally secure. So emotional safety is one of the most valuable gifts we can give to others, another human being. But what I just said is the person has to have something good to say or something important to say. Otherwise, just like I said, what did I just hear? Can I unhear this? Can I unsee? Sometimes you just get into you watch a video. So what did I just watch? Okay. Or someone says something, you say, what did I just hear? So we want to make sure that what we have to say is important. And we are prepared to say something, not just opening our mouth and saying something, just saying stuff. Because when people feel emotionally safe, relationships deepen, trust grows, collaboration improves, like we did,
Yeah,
and then communities flourish. You know,
I agree.
yeah,
I agree. I agree 100%, and I agree. Look, doing what we do, Professor. We have to be the loveliest people. Anyone here who hosts events or has ever hosted events, you know what I mean. I learned from the beginning of the audio rooms you mentioned earlier, Dr. Osama, that I can't come to these shows and hold grudges. I can't come to these shows with judgments on anyone.
mhm.
I have to be open to, I have to be open to anyone's ideas, right? Open to everything, attached to none was always my principle. Be attached to nothing, be open to everything. I'm not saying what you know doesn't come in handy, but I'm saying literally be open, because you never know what you're going to hear. And like you say, Prof, once you hear it, you can't unhear it, right? But you have to be truly open to what's, you might learn something amazingly new today. You might meet someone that never crossed your mind, the person that you need to meet. Saying, what's God's plan for us? We don't know, right? But unless you're open to to the people, to the activities, to the opportunities to actually go down those paths, then you're gonna miss what is gonna improve your life, right?
Yes.
Christine, I truly believe that. Christina, everyone needs to write the book. There's a book in all of us, right? There's a book in all of us.
Exactly.
Look, I'll say thank you, everyone. Dr. Roxana, if there's anything else you want to leave us with, otherwise, So
Yeah.
I would thank you for spending your time with me. And thanks for gracing the stage as always, my friend. You're a star.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Zion. We miss you, but we know you are somewhere you're listening. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
thank
see you next
you.
time.
Yeah, see you next Friday, and enjoy your weekend, everyone. And do connect and connect. You know, and as you say, Yolanda, we need to get to know each other better. That's where the magic really comes in. That's how our community becomes of service to us, right? And then we use that to serve others. If you're on my
Yeah.
LinkedIn, please like and comment on today's video. Not on my YouTube, please like and comment on today's video. Send us on LinkedIn, but it's more useful on YouTube to be the person who engages. But thank you so much, everyone. Do get in touch. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks,
Thank
Paul.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Let's see whether restream works well. Okay, we'll try again. Sure.
She's success with global.media.com and celebrating with without champagne or rum. She's success with global.media.com.